Hi, my name is Ragini Mishra, and I welcome you all to another episode of Let Us Talk. And today I have Nivedita Ganapathi along with me here to talk about today's topic is emotional changes and loneliness amongst empty nesters and seniors. So, before we go ahead and talk about this topic today, would like to give a little bit of a background about My Positivity Matters. So, My Positivity Matters is a personal growth coaching platform that created by me and my co-founder Nivedita Ganapathi, who is also joined in today's session. And so we created this platform to help people break through barriers and expand possibilities in the areas of relationships, career, health, and finding a true purpose in life. And so, Nivedita, before we go ahead further, I would just like you to little bit explain what is the problem here and why we are seeing so many seniors and people the empty nesters, they are going through what they're going through. So just a little bit of your input on that.
Yes, Ragini, that is indeed a problem. The biggest pandemic the world is seeing these days is loneliness. And loneliness causes depression. And depression is when we are disconnected with ourselves. And this is actually quite pervasive among all categories, divisions of society because of the actual COVID pandemic. But it has become more acutely, it comes out in the case of seniors and empty nesters. And the reason is that these people have never lived for themselves. They have always lived based on other people's expectations. First the parents, then the society, then their spouses, then their bosses, their work. And then suddenly they're at a point in life, none of those things are as relevant, meaning the other people have moved on. The children don't need them. You are not working. You're, retired. And suddenly they don't know what to do with themselves. They have so much potential, but they have never explored, never lived for themselves. And they don't realize that the best part of their life is still ahead. And when they don't realize it, they're caught up in this space between constantly working and having no time for themselves to not working, having a lot of time, but have never thought about themselves. So, they have time, but they don't know what to do. And they feel like everybody has moved on and nobody has time for them. But the minute they reframe that, they will realize the best part of their life really is ahead of them.
Wow, that's such a positive, way to explain this, problem that is very common nowadays. The other thing is that with the acceptance, right? Even if people are aware that, they are feeling lonely or, whatever the challenges, emotional changes they are noticing, and, yet they can't accept it and move on, right? So the acceptance is a big problem here. Why they should accept and why that is the solution, right, for this, or is it the solution or not? What is your take on that?
Yes, the thing is, all these while, if you have not spent any time in personal development, personal awareness, growth of your personal awareness, both your intellectual and your spiritual growth, what happens is we have been conditioned since childhood that happiness is external. It's we are always looking to somebody or something to give us happiness. And as we know that no people or no thing can actually give us happiness, because these things, people and objects, it's a conditioned happiness. It's conditioned by time, it's conditioned by space, and it's conditioned by causality. Time is some people or some activities at certain point in life gave you joy, but right now neither you have the desire for it nor the energy for it, so it's not giving you joy. Similarly, space. Some things you enjoy doing in a certain country at a certain time in your space. Now you're in a different country, different cultural environment. You're not getting joy from it. And the causality, money. All of us worked for money, name and fame. And only when you achieve it and accomplish it, you realize money cannot give you happiness. Money is only here to make your life easy and comfortable. So suddenly, a lot of people who are empty nesters, who are retired, even when they have money, they're not happy. They've never had time to cultivate any hobbies. So people who don't have money actually think that, oh my God, if I had the money, I would be happy. Not realizing how many clients we get, Ragini, who are coming, they're the who's who of Silicon Valley. They have upwards of 200 million and still they're unhappy. So if money could do it, it would have. So they are not recognizing that happiness is internal. You decide to be happy. It's a decision. Nothing and nobody can make you happy. And once they realize that they are in charge of their happiness, they can create happiness according to their desires. So that click has to happen, that it's not out there to be had, it's inside me. I just need to accept it, step into it and claim it and create it.
I think it's very important, and no matter what you have in life, if you have people in your life, if you don't have people in your life, if you have money, you don't have money, whatever it is, that is all external, and you have to still find happiness within. You cannot depend on anybody else, be it your kids, your husband or wife or anybody outside for your happiness.
Yes.
Right? So if that is true, then accept it and, make sure that you follow some of the steps that we're going to talk in the next segment.
Yeah.
By Nivedita. And
if I may add, you made a wonderful point, Ragini, that if you look at all the greatest emperors of any civilization, whether it is Ashoka, whether it is Alexander, whether it is, even in any country, any culture, when they have everything, they realize they're still unhappy. And then they realize it's not out there, it's in here. And that's why, like you said, only when you make all that money will you realize it. Otherwise, you keep thinking, if I had the money, I would be happy. Or I had the time, I would be happy. You create it.
Yes, totally. And that's what really moved me, because see, if that is the case, then it's all within your reach, right? You don't have to really slog and work hard for so many years to find happiness at some point of the time, right? Yeah. If that is now, then now is it, right? All you have to do is make a choice.
Absolutely.
And once you make a choice, then you start to see the difference in your external world as well, because you're accepting everything as it is with a heart of gratitude and forgiveness, and then you will see the difference, right, in your feelings. That's what we are also experiencing, in the lives of our clients. And I'm on a daily basis, I'm talking to them and understanding that this is really, really amazingly powerful. So Nivedita, I would also like to understand. See, we discussed about this problem, and especially after the pandemic, right? We are experiencing that this problem is increasing, on a daily basis. So what is the solution part of it, right? Like, what do you think people can do? And something that's not too challenging, and people can follow on their on daily basis, that, it'll help people to really manage their, the emotional changes and the loneliness in their life.
Yes. So the two things that we must understand as we start exploring how we can get out of this is, the biggest problem is boredom. And so you have to tackle that. And that's a whole different ball game. But to start with, understanding that you have to tackle this problem at three levels. One is the body level, one is the mind level, and one is the intellectual / spiritual level. And the body level, finally, you are at a stage in your life where you have learned, you have tried everything, you have eaten everything, and there's nothing more really to experiment. This is the time where you really take care of your body. In the past, you were never given a chance. You ate whatever was given to you, or you were working too busy and you never had time to take care of your health. Right now, for empty nesters and for retired people, seniors, you have all the time. Treat your body like a temple. Give it the respect it always wanted and craved, but you never had the time or the knowledge. You have all the knowledge, all the time to look after your body. So eat right, exercise right. You have the time right now. Secondly, mind. Growing up, when you're studying, it gets so competitive that you really don't have any, even when you practice an artistic endeavor or sports, it's with a competition in mind. Right now, develop the hobbies. That is what will give you joy, which has no practical value, but something you always wanted to do. And each of us has a talent that we have not explored. It could be gardening, singing, dancing, writing, speaking, traveling, whatever it is. Give explore your hobbies and spend time. You have earned it finally and then at the intellectual and spiritual levels, do not stop learning, because this boredom comes when you think you've done it all and there's no not enough time, there's nothing more to learn. What is the use? Because expanding your awareness will expand your experience of life. So whether it is spiritual, immersing yourself in spiritual activities, or learning a new skill at the intellect level, learning something for seniors, learning technology, keeping in touch with the way it'll help you from not deteriorating your memory, your brain capacity. Or even if you are a science bent of mind, on your life you've read and studied and practiced and worked in engineering or medicine, learn a dance, learn a music, learn a different language. You're giving food to your brain, which keeps on expanding. And few things that you can do, because see, human beings, we have different levels of needs. At this stage, we are not talking about survival, physiological needs. We are not talking about safety needs. We are not talking about, some of us are talking about emotional needs, but there is a need for leaving a legacy. What is it? So all your life, you have thrown yourself trying to become good at something. Share it with people. Your family may not appreciate it, but there are a lot of people who would be so grateful for you for all the things that you have learned. Either you can start, a commercial venture, or just as a hobby or charity or philanthropy. So, that gives meaning to life. That is a human need for fulfillment and legacy. So giving the gift of your learning to somebody else will give you a sense of fulfillment. It will take care of your boredom, and also it will keep your brain expanding and being on top of things. It's not you will ward off dementia, Alzheimer's because if you don't use it, you lose it. So boredom is the key problem. Get rid of it by taking care of your body, proper sleep, proper food, proper exercise. Hobbies, you must. If you had a hobby, didn't have a time, give it time. If you never had it, explore new things. If you don't know, keep doing something till you say, this is it. This is what gives me joy. And intellectually and spiritually, keep expanding your awareness. You cannot have loneliness, and you won't have that, that feeling of being left alone and you'd be able to deal with all the extra time. I think those are the things that people should keep in mind.
What about, would you like to share something about like following some, spiritual practices like meditation, mindfulness? Because I think that is the time where people have a lot of time. That is the, after like retirement and things like that though. So ideally, I would think that it will be a lot of value for them, for their spiritual growth, if they do certain practices. So what is your view on that?
The first thing that we talk about, as you know, with all our clients is forgiveness, because at this point you are situated at a vantage point where you have a lot of experiences. Many of those people have hurt you, disappointed you. Unless you decide to let it go, you will never be free of it. You will be constantly in emotional pain. So for practices of forgiveness, writing down, and you don't have to talk to those people, just emotionally letting it go, writing it, burning it away, or just saying that I forgive you. And then rituals is creating a sacred space, an altar, and using that space every time, at same time every day, to sit down for your spiritual practices, which could be chanting is a great way to keep our mind in check so that we don't have the negative chatter, and meditation, where you realize that you're not this limited body and limited mind. You have a body and mind that you use to experience. That is where you take back the control, that whatever is happening to my body is not happening to me, whatever is happening to my mind is not happening to me. But right now we are so attached and to the body and mind that we think it's happening to us. To experience that there is a self, a higher self, that uses a body and mind to experience life. And the more you are established in your true self, the more control you have over your body, mind, and your external environment.
It was amazing, Nivedita. Yeah, so I totally agree with all of that, what you said, because personally, I'm seeing also people who are practicing all of these rituals and the tools. They find like people are drawn to them later, right? Once they start doing it, versus they are seeking people.
Yeah.
Right. And so, that's the amazing, like if people can practice, any of those kind of rituals. So thank you so much, Nivedita, for such valuable insight. And to the listeners, I would request to subscribe this channel. Thank you so much. And I hope you liked today's talk.